She had married him resentfully, finding everything about her husband, Gu Juncheng, to be an eyesore. She hated his dark skin, hated that he was 7 or 8 years older than her, hated that he was a coarse soldier, not a refined gentleman, hated that he came with a child, hated that he was always stationed so far away, leaving everything for her to handle, including the boy. She had raised hell in the Gu household, turning their lives upside down, all while funneling their resources back to her own parents. A few years later, Gu Juncheng was killed in the line of duty. And despite everything she'd done, his last letter had specified his entire death benefit should go to her. He'd even apologized for wasting years of her youth. That money, paid for with his life, had been the startup capital for the restaurant business she built, which grew from our small county to the provincial capital, and then to a major metropolis. Lin Qingping lay in bed, her thoughts a tangled mess. Night had fallen long ago, but Gu Juncheng still hadn't come into the bedroom. 6 months ago, she'd been forced into this marriage. To avoid consummating it, she'd deliberately stood in the freezing winter air until she came down with a raging fever. The very next day, Gu Juncheng had been recalled to his post for an urgent mission. As a result, nothing had ever happened between them. Gu Juncheng was a sharp man. She could never hide her true feelings from him. He knew she didn't want him. In her past life, when he had come home on leave this time, he had found an excuse to sleep in another room. Would he do the same thing this time? She did a quick mental calculation. There were only 4 years until he died. If this life was destined for the same tragic end, then she had to spend these few years with him, truly with him, no matter what. Steeling her resolve, she threw off the covers and bolted out of the room. Gu Juncheng was showering. She knew it. She could hear the splashing water from the small washroom next to the pigsty. She took a deep, fortifying breath, marched over and shoved open the flimsy, crooked door. Her eyes widened. They had been married for a lifetime, and she'd never known he had a body like this. Sure, his skin was tanned dark, but he was a soldier. The healthy, masculine energy radiating off him, the perfectly defined muscles. He could have been a Greek statue. She must have been blind in her last life to have been so repulsed by him. Her gaze was glued to him, following the beads of water as they trickled down his skin. Lower and lower. In that moment, she wanted to be one of those water droplets.